Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Prophetic Lifestyles with Bernard Bolton, where we are making the prophetic practical, bringing the prophetic into everyday life and seeing the future now. Well, guess what? It's day 3 of our reflections on the Father, and we're in the month of Av, and Av is the Hebrew word or the Hebrew name for Father, and so we've decided to take several days over this week and possibly next week, just to share some reflections on on the Father, on the beginning, the source. All right. So today we're coming from Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 and 4. Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. Otherwise, you have no reward from your Father in heaven. Verse 4, that your charitable deed may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly. So I want to talk today about charitable giving and how giving actually demonstrates the heart of God, because Father God is a giver, and above all, the consistency of the revelation of himself, he is revealed to us consistently as a giver. All right. And so Jesus in this passage, as he reveals to us the nature of the Father and what it means to look like the Father as sons, he speaks about the area of giving, of alms giving. Alms giving, it means to give out of mercy, to give to those who are in need of mercy. It also means to give out of compassion. So alms giving or compassion giving is when you are moved to give to someone who is in dire need. All right. Alms giving also means to give to the poor or to give to those who are needy. To be poor, the biblical language of being poor means that you are needy in your circumstances, that there is a legitimate need in your life that needs to be met. And so a person who gives out of mercy and gives out of compassion is a person who gives to the poor. And this is the heart of the Father, because the Father loves giving to the poor, and he loves it when we, who are his sons, demonstrate that type of giving. All right. And so here's another thing Jesus talks about. Jesus says, and this has been erroneously interpreted when it says, take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. All right. Now, some people think that means that you should never give in public, or it should never be announced of your giving, but that's not really what the Lord is saying. Here, the Lord is talking about motive. See, when you give out of compassion and mercy, then your motive will be that you will not do it to be seen by man. That's not your motive. That's not your motivation. You're not giving so that people will talk about what a great giver you are or how compassionate you are. And so the Lord is speaking of our motives when we give to the poor and we give out of compassion and mercy. We don't do it to be seen by men. Now, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong for you to give by announcement. I was listening to the radio last week. I don't want to go over. We purposely do these in about 5 to 7 minutes so that your reflection, you can reflect on it as long as you want. But there was a share campaign going on one of the radio stations here in Atlanta, and they actually raised $1.2 million. Very impressive amount when we're hearing about recessions and all of that. but Americans are very generous people. Well, in the giving, the radio announcers were announcing some of the people that were giving. That's not what the Lord is speaking about. So he's not talking about never giving where it is known or not known, but he's talking about your motives. So if your motive is to give so that others will praise you and think well of you and elevate you, then that becomes your reward. Okay, you will not receive a reward from the Father, but your reward is in the praise that you were seeking. All right, now here's the thing, because the Lord loves he loves it when we give to the poor. He loves when we give out of mercy and compassion. Again, this has nothing to do with the amount of giving or whether I don't have it or any of that. But the Lord he loves his sons who give, because it demonstrates his nature, it demonstrates his character. Okay. And so it says that that you will get a reward from the Father. A reward is receiving something according to what you've given. Okay. So when you give to the poor, when you give out of compassion, you're going to receive a reward from the Father. And that reward is going to be you receiving something because you gave. Doesn't always mean that you're going to get back the exact thing. So people who believe that if I give money to the poor, I'm going to get money back. That's not what it necessarily means, but you will receive a reward from the Father. And then in verse number 4, it talks about giving in secret, which again speaks more concerning motive. All right, when we give in secret, means that we don't have to broadcast it. So never let your motive be that you're doing this for praise, but you're doing it for secret. You're doing it in a secret, and the Father sees in secret. Isn't that an interesting phrase? The Father sees in secret. So he sees the things that we do that are hidden. Not that he ignores the public things that we're doing, but he sees the things that we're doing that is not being recognized, not being praised, not being seen by others. Okay. So so be motivated in your giving, because the Father is a giver. All right. We'll be back. We'll be back possibly tomorrow. We'll be back with another reflection on Av in this month of Av. And I pray that this month that you're being overtaken by the Father, coming to know him in new ways, and that you're being built up by the Father. Shalom.